Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Look, there's a set of influences. It's not an influence, but there is a set of influences upon us which many of the worst mothers had. The neck rolling, finger snapping, eye rolling boom shikas that became some of your moms. And, some of y'all have had good moms that still gave y'all bad advice. And I had a good mom and she tried to avoid that. The only time she gave bad advice is if it was advice that was true when she was growing up and it just wasn't true by my time and she didn't know about the change. But, a lot of you weren't that lucky and it wasn't your fault. But you got some bad advice. I mean, one brother left a comment underneath one of my videos, and he and I have met before. We've seen each other, I would say, in person, but we met online. It's brother out of he's lived in several places: the Carolinas, Arizona, Detroit, Michigan, Atlanta. But he said that his mom had told him to serve the women and don't serve Allah and don't be Muslim. And, that's an otherwise loving mom that told him this stuff. Okay, so let's stop and think about this for a second. Stop and think about this kind of advice. Some of y'all got that. Wasn't nothing y'all did. But you also have to think about some of the other things too. See, there's more to it than just that. Some of you guys, man, y'all have been influenced because your moms were just blunt. And your mom would sit up and say, well, I'm just telling it like it is. But if the truth was convenient, they would never tell it. What happens if the truth involved giving somebody credit for something or, giving a compliment? What happened when the truth was comfortable? And so they would never give it then. And then they would act like truth can't be comfortable or else it ain't the truth. Truth hurts. Well, that's not an ethos by which to live all the time. You prepare for times when the truth hurts. But you know how sisters get. They can't ever prepare for when the truth doesn't hurt. Oh, God, no. Because then it's a lie. So there they go. And you were influenced by that. And so now that you've been influenced by that, you're not removing the influence from your own personality, from your own persona, from the way that you do things, from your repertoire. You got to analytically and critically think even about the ways that your mothers raised you. Now, I mention this because one of the things that they've done is that we already know that it's in the culture to emasculate the men. We know that. And that includes you as a son. So what this means is that you will have, sometimes you're going to find out about the things that the games that were played on you by other ladies, and you're going to try to get even because, they were freaks and sluts and hoes, and they were cheating on you and creeping on you, and you had to bring the flowers and be the good guy, and they were just banging somebody else for free, and you got to deal with the boundaries, but they're compromising for somebody else that ain't doing nothing. We've seen that. Or some of you were the guys for whom they did all the compromise and from whom they demanded nothing. Few of you were these guys. Either way it goes, now we know what this is. But some of you still think that you're going to catch up, or that you're going to get even, or you're going to get back at the stank broads. Don't make the same mistake that the stank funky broads out the West were making, trying to get you to pay the bill for them to go and just be a free freak and an easy lay for the few guys they wanted to smash. There's still a bill for that. They just wanted you to pay it. But they made that mistake. And then they get mad when you decide that you're not going to be the stepdad and you're not going to, you decide that you're not going to pay the bill. So now they come and get on you, get on your case. Mad at you. Why won't you be there? Why don't you take care of these single moms? It's not your fault. But likewise, if you're really looking to do something other than just be a whoremonger in other countries, then when you go abroad, understand that you're not going to be able to catch up. You're just not going to be able to do it. Not in terms of numbers. Some of you are trying to compete with these chicks that cheated on you in terms of body count. You're not able to. They can give it away. You can't give away your junk, and it ain't your fault. It ain't nothing you did wrong. That's how they are. It's not you. They were going to give it away, and it wasn't going to be the most of us. But a lot of you got this mistaken notion that you're going to compete and rack up the same body count as the chick that really hurt you, or a higher body count. And you're not going to catch nothing, and you're not going to be stuck in someone's child support court. You got this notion that you're going to, one moment each, you got this notion that you're going to get back at her up in the guts of these other submissive foreign women, even if they're the ones that you had to pay to play. And that's not the way that's going to work. It's not the way you want to go about that. Because best believe, if that's all you're doing, and we're not the majority of travelers in these countries, nor are we the majority in the U.S. or in the countries from which many of us are coming, like the U.S., Canada, the U.K., then what's going to happen? Well, they're going to start profiling because they can't help it. And you're not giving them any reason to make any good assumptions about us. So when the next bruh gets off the plane or comes through customs in that particular area, or just lands and arrives in a particular city in which you settle, he's going to get approached and run after. How's it going? Come on, stuck out. He's going to get approached and run after by the ones that are looking to be paid to play. That's who's going to come for him. I'm telling you now, some of y'all wilding, asking dumb questions like, what's the best place to bag an Arab woman? Why don't you say an Arab Christian woman if you ain't Muslim? Because if you're talking about going after the ones that are Muslim, and there are Arab Christians, but if you're talking about just going after the bulk of them and they're Muslim, I done already told some of y'all, man, you're going to wake up some sleeping giants. These guys are going to seriously do some stuff to you. They've already done it to others. They're expected to. Their dads will send them on these missions. And they're not supposed to come back home without having punished you. They come from cultures where dad never sends them out the house and says, don't come back until you get some trim. Dad wouldn't send them out the house for that. Because whose daughter is he supposed to do that to? But dad will send him out the house and tell him to get even with somebody that got some from their sister or their daughter. And that's after they get through punishing her. You next. That's how it's going to have to work. So you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that. And there won't be anything I'm going to be able to do to get you out of it. And I wouldn't want to. And some of you forget about that. You're sitting up and some of you are posting photos of yourself next to muhajiba, that means hijab wearing Muslim women in certain countries, talking about, yeah, man, they get wild in the bed. They wilder than the Catholic. If you got a post like that somewhere, take it down. And I can't point the finger at SYSBM about that, because Save Yourself Black Clinic is more marriage oriented. That's part of what it was that called me to it in the first place. But see, a lot of that, the reason why you're trying to do it is you out here, you trying to conquer what you ain't supposed to. You trying to conquer what's not even out to get you. You trying to stick it where you really know you ain't supposed to be because that's what was done to you. And then not only that, but you come from a culture where if your mom ain't in on it, the women that look like your mom is sitting up telling you, well, maybe it's you. Always telling you to blame yourself for what they decided to do because they wanted to be loose. And at your expense and try to get you to foot the bill for it. Some of y'all you're trying to get a portion of your manhood back the wrong way. And what I'm telling you is that you don't have to do that because if you're going to, I mean, honestly, if you just can't stick with one, you're allowed to marry 2 and 3 and 4 in certain parts of the world. Or you do it and you don't do it in front of the state so you can marry 2 or 3 or 4. And if you're Christian, you could still do that because really, where in the New or Old Testament are you expressly forbidden from that? Where is that? It might be in somebody's laws and their government, but I'm talking about where is that for real in the text? That's what I'm asking you about. You don't find it. Okay. So if that's what it is that bothers you, if you think that monogamy is castrating, well, you don't have to be monogynous. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. But you're not going to be able to win what you think you're going to win or win the game they're playing. I told you that's a rigged game. And if you're trying to make up for lost time in these other places, in the vaginas of several strange women, you're still playing her game and she's still winning. And you done left her an ocean and a continent away. You want to know how you beat her? You marry more than one or one, whichever's easiest for you. And you live out that good married life. And boom shika upon quisha, if you're still trying to beat her or get back at her some way, is going to be back where you left her, trying to figure out what kind of man she gonna be able to get to love her and all her kids. And she's just gonna have to take the one she can get to agree to be stepdaddy without being daddy. She have to take what she can get because you and others like you done left. You don't see her suffer, and you're not out there just banging one after the other, after the other, after the other, and recording it. I mean, that's not the way that's gonna work. You left. That's how you start to win. You don't do what's going to jeopardize your health, and that's how you continue and finish winning. It's okay to actually, it's necessary to know the influences of the gynocracy and boom chic and sometimes even the way you were mothered. It's necessary to know this. But it is also necessary to understand that you are not to continue trying to play her game and win her game after you done already successfully left that arena. You started to win when you got the passport, the visa, and the ticket. You won again when you cleared immigration, went to baggage claim, got your bags, went through the final custom search, walked out, got that ride share to where you were going to be staying. You already started to win. You will finish winning, but not living or even trying and paying to live a sexually undisciplined lifestyle. And if that is your goal, you're going to wind up picking the wrong destination in the first place because you will already know those are the destinations that have the highest numbers of the wrong kind of women that you think are right for what you're trying to do. I mean, some of y'all don't understand, man. Latin America has a better climate. The food may be better. The economy may be better if you're spending US dollars. But they trifling. I could tell you that just by what they wear out in public. They trifling. And some of y'all don't want to go to conservative parts of the world. Those are the best ones to go to. You want to go somewhere where if somebody breaks in your house, they're going to go to jail for a long time. If they break in your house and hurt you, they're going for long. And if they break in your house and kill you, they're going to die for it. That's where you want to go. Some of y'all are like, oh, you know, man, they too strict. Party scene ain't really like that. You don't need that. That's a part of growing up anyway. We were raised to not fully finish growing. Shed that. I hope this helps. Thanks for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, black out. Assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power because they don't like it. Black patriarchy until extinction of Judgment Day. And thanks for flying again with me here on Jet Black Airways, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us till the wings and the wheels fall off. And I invite you all to subscribe to the first class of Jet Black Airways at Buy Me a Coffee. Links in the description. Gender justice forever.